The truth about struggling children. When a child comes into the world, they're much like this pot. They look complete, and they are on the outside, but the inside of a child has much to be developed where their brains, muscles, and central nervous system is concerned. The fact is, gaps exist because the natural design of humans leaves much to be developed after we are born. Executing developmental steps are vital in establishing the lower levels of brain organization, developing our cognitive abilities, not to mention the mastery of our physical bodies and language. It is through the stimulation of our senses that body signals are sent to help map the brain. Gaining full function and developing normally is dependent upon all of these subtle and sometimes strong sensations being sent to the brain. The sensations or stimuli cause the dendrites or the ends of the nerve cells to grow into massive networks that allow all the capabilities we're born with to come into the fullness of our potential. The neural networks must be in place and firmly established. They become our high-speed communication channel, which teaches our brain through experiences of the who, what, and where we are in the world in which we live. What do you think would happen if these gaps were left as is? Well, you would see a lot of learning issues, much like we're seeing in our school children today. Because without our high-speed messaging transport system, the organizing of thought, comprehension, processing of information we receive by hearing, seeing, and touching either doesn't reach the brain efficiently or the signals are weak and ineffective. Without good connections, vital developmental steps are not achieved, thereby leaving the individual's functioning ability reduced or non-existent. We see many children with high IQs who simply can't learn. It's because their wiring is incomplete. Some struggle with never quite being able to get things right. They understand and know their failures, and after a time of total frustration, they begin to think they're done, when nothing could be further from the truth. When it's a matter of getting the connections between their body and brain functioning efficiently, it's a matter that can be fixed. Would you choose to leave a person in a sieve-like condition? Not if you had an option, you wouldn't. Some would say, well, let's just teach them over and over and over until they get it. Well, what's the problem with that? Until the developmental gaps are closed and the brain high-speed network is fully in place, much of what is being taught over and over and over again simply cannot be retained. The emotional response is akin to the frustration in waiting on a dial-up connection. Windows of opportunity are constantly missed because the processing function is faulty or very slow. Okay, so what's the solution for functional deficits and less than stellar academics or learning in such cases? I'm glad you asked, because what we uniquely do is to fix these gaps, or as we call them, root causes. Nature has provided a feature in the brain called plasticity. It allows the brain to change at any time in our life. For an individual who has missed some developmental steps, the remedy is available by picking up the missed activity.
For instance, our brain, organization of thought, comprehension, memory, and recall of information all stems from experiencing input from our sensory system. Key to our learning ability is our auditory and visual processing and tactile experiences. What we hear, see, or touch teaches us about the world in which we live. Thank heavens each of us were blessed with parents who we could model and who could teach us. Were you aware that any individual with low processing abilities, whether it be auditory or visual, can experience a crippling effect to their academic success? In today's society, where we are so engaged with visual input, typically our children's auditory processing ability is lagging. You see, auditory processing can make the difference in a person's ability to receive information, hold it in short-term memory, and then recall and utilize it. Here are a few of the other benefits of having an efficient auditory processing ability. Phonetic utilization, behavior, following directions, comprehension, conceptual thinking, conversational language, and staying on task. The auditory processing abilities affects us globally, as you can see. The good news is Little Giant Steps provides free auditory and visual test kits, so you can determine the current level of your child's processing abilities. Even better news, it can be easily remedied if you will commit to practicing twice a day for 2 minutes. Investing your time with your child to do these techniques has the ability to set them on a course of success in academics like none other. Be creative. If you need more help, order the booklet, What Every Parent Should Know About Auditory Processing. It's the best kept secret in education. The sad truth is that what we are doing culturally has caused developmental delays in many cases. Many children have missed vital developmental steps. For instance, putting your babies in jumpers, seats, or walkers instead of on their tummies, where they can get the benefit of the sensation-building connections between their brain and bodies, eye tracking, strengthening of their neuromusculature, and initiating cross-patterning movements that can bring about organization in the pons or lower level of the brain. Families are not engaging conversations amongst themselves. Sitting down together 3 times a day for a meal was priceless. With all the talking and listening to family members, each was providing input to everyone's visual and auditory processing skills. The natural course of families bringing the most intensity, a greatly needed stimuli, to the development of a child's processing ability. We have worked with thousands of families, done research in public and private schools to test the efficacy of these programs, and they work. The fix is there in doing the missed developmental steps. Many lives have been changed that have blossomed and far exceeded all expectations. Our programs are not difficult. You do the program until the function shows up. It's like building muscles or endurance when you go to the gym. You do the activity until the desired result is reached. Neural networks will be functioning efficiently as a result. Learning becomes very easy. You can be the key to unlocking your child's potential. Once you understand, it is a matter of development. You can show the way. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Please go to our website as we have many free resources. Thanks again. God bless.